ask God, where is my time, my money, and my energy needing to be spent in my business in this season, in my ministry, in my family, and I promise He's going to help you. Welcome to Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. I'm Kristin Fields-Chadwick, your podcast coach on this transformative podcasting journey. Our mission, empower kingdom entrepreneurs to confidently launch and grow podcasts, fostering a journey of being seen, being heard, being known, and making a lasting kingdom impact. This is Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. Your voice matters. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. I am your podcast coach, Kristin Chadwick, and we have been on a journey this summer getting you prepared for your fall podcast launch, hopefully. If not, this is just tickling some of those curiosity of what does it take to launch a podcast. And I am walking through these 10 steps on how to start a podcast. And again, with every episode, I'm going to say these few things. Number one, start at step one and listen to every single one in order because they all build on top of one another. And number two, I really encourage you to book a call with me to see is doing this yourself and on your own your right strategy for launching in the fall, or would you like some help? And I have a couple of options to help you along this process more than what a podcast episode can bring to the table for you. Although I'm giving you basically all of the meat of my process with people. But if you want to dive deeper and you get trainings specifically with a group of people that have walked through my podcast bootcamp with me, I have an online course that is a podcast bootcamp from idea to launch for you. And that is a very inexpensive course, a self-paced course that starts at $99. There are additional courses within there, like an editing course, how to edit. There's what else is in there? Coaching that you can add on there as you walk through. So that is a really valuable asset to have. It starts at $99. You get 8 weeks of content, and you also have the option to buy the online course for specifically editing as well. So there's that option. Or if you're like, Kristin, I don't want to do this on my own. I probably am not going to go through this by myself. I need one-on-one help. I have that as well. And so I really encourage you to book a one-on-one call with me, 15-minute free phone call, and I will help you decide, okay, actually, this sounds like a great option for you. It sounds like you're a go-getter. You can check off all the boxes, then definitely do the online course. Or maybe you're needing a little bit more coaching and one-on-one help and consulting. And that's where our one-on-one launch package would be really helpful for you. But first, let's have that conversation to see where you're at and help you move forward to that goal of launching a podcast in the fall or in January, February, or March, because you guys, now is the time to think about that. 2025 is going to be here before you know it. By the time you're listening to this, there's only 5 months left. We're on the downward slope into 2025, and basically the year ends around November. So if you are anything like me in the coaching world, in the service providing or entrepreneur, then November is the end of the business kind of cycle, unless you have a very unique situation and December is your high month. This is the time to launch your podcast with strategy and being prepared now for January, because January is by far the best month to launch, but so is the fall. So if you're ready to do this and to take off in September, October, please book a call with me. And I hope that these episodes have been really helpful for you. And I'm happy to answer any deeper questions in that 15-minute free call too. So, all right, here we go. So today we are talking about step 8. I want to do a quick little review of the last 7 steps, which was number 1, know your why and your who. Number 2, brain dump. Number 3, content planning. Number 4, equipment. We talked all about podcasting equipment. Number 5, we talked about a hosting platform. Number 6, pressing record. And number 7, last week, we talked about how to launch strategically as a podcaster. So be sure to go back and listen a couple times if you need more and more help. Ain't no shame in that, girl. All right. So let's move forward. So if you have now recorded your episode 1, like we talked about last week, if you're launching with multiple episodes on that very first release day, you're going to have to decide what you want to do after episode 1. And the reason why I say after episode 1 is because if you're doing a launch package with our team, we include the first episode editing and publishing and writing the episode descriptions, all of that in your first episode. We include that in your package. We also, it's just really good to get that first episode under your belt. So now what you're going to have to decide as a podcast host is it best for you to manage and produce your own podcast, or is it better for you in this season of life to delegate and hire contractors or a podcast production team or service providers to help you do the work that maybe you weren't designed to do? So let's talk about this. So as you go to episode 2, 3, 4, you're going to have to decide who is going to edit your podcast. You're going to have to decide who will write your episode descriptions every week, who is going to publish and schedule those podcasts to be released. If you're starting out as a brand new business, as a small business, and maybe your investment funds are very small, I encourage you to ask the question, is it worth my time or my money to invest in having somebody to help me with this process? Certainly, there are many, many opportunities on Google, YouTube, my courses to figure out how to do this on your own and then save yourself money with editing, publishing, promoting, all those things. There's also AI tools to help out there. Descript is one that can help you with editing. I believe, there's another one right now. Adobe Audition has a new podcaster one that does cost a little money, but it is still AI. So I will say it's not perfect in how they edit. And I can actually tell when people have used AI to edit their podcast episodes. I think because of just purely having experience for so long hearing. So there is that option. It is on the cheaper side to utilize AI in that department. But I will tell you, as with anything, whether it's through editing or writing your show notes or promoting your podcast after it's been released, if you use AI, don't forget it is not human. I love using AI as a baseline to help get the juices flowing, or maybe to create an outline. I actually created an outline for each of these episodes so I wouldn't miss anything. For us little ADD brains that like to go all over the map, it's helpful for those kind of things. I use castmagic.io to help me come up with some questions that maybe I didn't think of. I love using it to pull quotes from recorded episodes, and then I use that as posts because I know that it pulls some great ones out of there. Do I use it to copy and paste into my newsletter? No, I do not like it. I think that it misses the heart connection of people, and sometimes it misses the boat completely on what I was talking about. I don't know if anybody saw my post back in the spring. It was probably the end of May, where I said you can tell when people use AI in their posts when it says delves or embarks or unlocking or unleashing, which all of those words I feel like we might have used in the past, but now if it's got like an emoji next to it, I'm like, oh, that's AI. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm not that dumb when I read posts that have AI. I'm like, okay, I already have put up a wall. So just keep that in mind as you use AI. Maybe you use it to help write your show notes to make sure that it's in your own voice. Go over it, read through it. It's a great tool, and you can't just leave it as is. Okay, so that is totally DIY mode. The other extreme is the DFY, which is done for you approach. And that is where you hire a podcast producer, a team, a manager to edit, to write your copy, perhaps edit YouTube videos, do shorts and reels, social media posts, newsletters, blogs, the whole gamut of options. And there are plenty of podcast production teams out there that specialize in different areas and they have a focus on different areas. So I encourage you to do your research, and the price range can go all over the map. So I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But this is beneficial for somebody who perhaps has already started a small business. Maybe you are a successful entrepreneur already and you are ready to bring your investment into your business through podcasting, and you don't mind recognizing that your time is more valuable than trying to figure out how to edit or write copy or schedule posts or any of that. Those are kind of the two ends of the spectrums. It's the DIY or done with you, like right in the middle, which we'll talk about in just a second. And then at the end, the done for you, where you literally press record, you send it off to your people and they do the rest. Now, I have clients in every part of that spectrum, and I can tell those who value their time are the ones that are all in. They say, yep, I am way too valuable and my time is too valuable to be spending my time editing or writing copy. And that is awesome. That is an honor to walk with those people. And then there are clients of ours that they're not quite there yet, and that is okay. And they write their own copy or they schedule their own posts, but they choose to just get editing done and publishing done. And that is awesome. It's just where you're at. Where can you show up best? And where can you delegate? So there's definitely options in the in-between in the done with you. So say you like writing your episode description. I have a few clients that really enjoy writing, so they don't mind writing the show notes. They just send us the audio to edit and to publish, and they write everything else. And then we just grab their show notes, plug it into the hosting platform, and that's an option right there. Or maybe you really enjoy the YouTube process, but you just need help with the editing and the show notes and publishing. So I have another client who, this is an awesome example. She was in a podcast school that taught her everything she needed to know about editing, about publishing. And she had one episode that took her, the 3 minutes that she took to edit in her show that she recorded, took her almost, what did she say? No, flop that. It was 7 minutes of her show took 3 hours for her to edit. Now, someone like her, where she's hearing her own voice, she's also in the very beginning stages of recording. There might be some mindset issues. So now we have gone down a deep spiral of we are just stuck, right? So she finally reached out to us and we had her show edited and uploaded way faster than what she was able to do. And that is an honor and a blessing to be able to do that for somebody like her who has such a gift of speaking and teaching. And yet she was spending too much time trying to figure out how to edit and how to get it to sound exactly right. So I can only imagine the frustration of spending 3 hours on 7 minutes of audio. Ooh, yeah. Another example is we have another client who she hires us for editing and publishing, but she likes to have AI start her show notes and then she does the rest. She makes it her own. There's another podcast where he no longer had time to edit and produce his almost 2-year long podcast, but he felt like it was time to pass along the baton and help us to produce. And I almost weekly hear from him saying, this has been such a turnaround point for me to be able to go on vacation and not have to worry about having to edit. And he really enjoyed editing. He enjoyed producing and he enjoyed the whole process. But now he's in a space where he can be present with his family. He has people doing his social media reels and shorts, so he doesn't have to do that. So there's so many options that you can do, not only within our own company, but in any other podcasting services. So think about, do you have a VA that could help with some of that? Just thinking outside of the box. So think about, as you move forward after episode 1, what is your best option moving forward for this season? And again, you guys, ask Jesus, ask God, where is my time, my money, and my energy needing to be spent in my business in this season, in my ministry, in my family? And I promise He's going to help you. Now, I said that I would give you a range of price points that are pretty typical in this field. And I would say that if you find, or if you are looking for editing service, you're going to see anywhere from $50 just for editing, $50 up to, gosh, you could pay $1,000 for editing services that include other things like video editing or promotion. It really depends on how far you want to invest, but I will tell you, you can get very high quality for about $150 to $450 an episode within our company. Now, the $150 is basic editing with publishing, and then the $450, like there's a range in here. So the $150 is the bottom tier. The $450 is the very top tier. The $450 includes all of what you could include inside of a podcast production. So it would be your editing of your audio and your video, of YouTube and your podcast, your social media, your newsletter, your blogs, posting, all of that. So depending on what services you find priority is how we price point that. And it's definitely doable to be able to hire somebody to help you with portions of your podcast that maybe you do not find as energy or life-giving as maybe somebody who thrives at editing like Sharon, my editor, or somebody else who is an independent editor. But I will say, to show up professionally, you do have to invest in your podcast. So just remember that. I really encourage you guys to book that discovery call with me to see if we can be a good fit. If not, I will point you in the direction of other podcasting production companies that would be a great fit. And again, if you have any of the launch questions, that you have that launch strategy call with me as well. And it's free and it's 15 minutes long and I can answer your questions. All right. Take care, you guys. Happy summer. Thanks for listening today. Hey, I want you to know that there is an opportunity for you and I to connect. I would love to do that. Find a link below and we can schedule a one-on-one free 15-minute consultation. I want to hear, where are you in your podcasting journey and how can I help serve you and help you bring that kingdom impact dream into reality?